Hey guys, we've got a Holzfforma G372XP on the bench, dead stock. I've only got one heat cycle through it, but what I'm going to do today is just run through all of these stock numbers, check squish, cylinder timing, compression, and ignition timing, just to see where we are stock. And then I'm gonna run this with I believe we can get away with a base gasket delete. I think most of these come with some fairly bad squish with the gasket, like around 40-45 thou. So hoping if a gasket is in that 20 thou range, we should end up close to between 20 and 25 thousandths with the gasket delete. So when I mod it, that's obviously what we're going to do, but for now I just want to check stock numbers so we know what we're doing. What are we going to start with? Some squish. I'm going to start stripping I'm going to remove all this carb to get a view into the intake. Comes with an GKR BPM 7A. Looks like the real deal. Anywho's, I also have a G395 that I want to mod to. I've had one heat cycle on that as well, on stock. So it's going to be fun to play with these Husky clones. I've only run the steel clones so far. Well, these are nice, you know, have good spring anti-vibe. Should make good saws. This is 50 thou solder, and it only has a very slight flat spot, so I think we should be in that 40 thou range, hopefully. Whew. 46 thou. .43, 42 on the very edge. I like to, instead of using the pull cord, I like to hold the solder and rotate the flywheel. Feel. cut this off and check about 3 locations. Barely touching. 42, 41, 41. Yeah, so we are gonna run a base gasket delete, but for now, so mark those, so we're at 41 thou. We are going to check some timing on the cylinder first before we get to our ignition. Alright guys, I thought I would just cut you there and bring you back after I tore this down, that it's easy, get all the readings quick. One time, I've already zeroed this gauge using the piston stop, so we're ready to go. We'll start with our intake. About closes there. 72.3. .2. So yeah, she's about 73. There. 72.7, so call it 73. I think I had that mark before. Yeah, 73. We have 73. Intake. As it cracks. 101.7. Do it in light. As the light cracks through. 100.4. So yeah, we go with 100.5 maybe. And transfers. Look at the crack. 120. 120.7. So we could call it 121, which is kind of a split. When I first timed it, I got 120, 123. So let's just straight numbers. Let's use 121. Compression. Let's check compression. I plug the decomp. We need a starter for that. Check. Still going up. Almost level there. So 130. A little bit more. That's 132, 33. Anyway, 130 in that ballpark. It's really low. 40 thou squish, so I'm hoping gasket delete. If we could get any 25 thou squish, we should gain another 10 psi, hopefully. And if I go the route of a 268 piston, which has a taller crown, we'll have the machine pop up, and that should bump it even more. But I don't think I'm going to get there too soon. We're going to just deal with the stock stuff first, stock piston, and see what we can do with it. Alright, so what we want to do now is, what do we have? Compression, we said 130. We're going to go outside and get this set up to check the ignition timing. So compression is 130 psi. Alright guys, I thought I would just bring you back here. I've set this up already. I've zeroed it. Zeroed for top dead center, and I've already marked on the flywheel, the air cowling, housing, whatever you want to call it. I've marked my scale from 0 degrees, which is at this location now, at 0, right out to 30 degrees. So I'm going to rotate, flip the saw, just to show you what that looks like. So you can see, let me bring it closer. I've marked this fin to my 0, so you see that pretty much, that lines up. Let me see if I can bring you in closer. Right, so that's your 0. Second mark down is 5, then you have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So the idea is that if you had a 10-degree advance, when you have your timing light on it, the light is going to fire when that mark is 10 degrees before top dead center. So that's what it would look like using the timing light, right? So everything here, so that's at 10. So our gauge, obviously I've moved the saw now, so it's not going to come back perfect, but 11 degrees, right? So if we move, let's rotate this back to, let's go back 20 degrees. Let's see what we're at. Pretty much spot on 20. See, so everything is marked as accurate as I could get it. So I'll pause you here. I gotta go and get this set up, put a bar on it, clamp it down in a vise, and set up the timing light, and let's have a go at checking out this timing. So let me pause you here and we'll come back when we're ready to time. Alright guys, we're set up here now. Saw is clamped. I've got the housing loose, being held by one bolt, so I'll start it and take that off. We've got our clamp on our lead, and we've got our 12-volt battery. Just a little UPS battery, that's all you need. And this is just a cheap Innova timing gun. Works pretty good. You don't need anything too fancy. So let me set you back here. I'm going to start the saw, just check the timing myself, and I'll bring you in, and hopefully you'll be able to pick it up on camera. guys, I had to shut off there. Not sure if you got that, but we were, I think it was idling at around 10, 12 degrees, and then blipping the throttle. She was getting up to like 20, 22, it looked like to me. So it looks to me like we'll only be doing an advance of about maybe 4 degrees, 5 degrees to 26, 27 possibly. But yeah, I'll have to review the footage and see exactly where it was. I think with the LED, the frequency of the screen on the phone and also the light, it was cutting in and out, so it wasn't really showing the best, but hopefully you could pick up the dark line on the fin and relative to the scale on the side. Alright, so that is that. We will go back inside and button this up, and we'll probably do some test runs with it stock, and then from there we'll start to modify and port, timing advance, muffler mod, etc. Alright, thanks guys. Alright guys, we're back here, everything's buttoned back up. I realized when I reviewed the footage that the housing, the air flow, coupling, whatever, around the flywheel, because of the vibrations, with the cover being off, it had dropped off its pins and was hanging a bit low. So it looked to me like we had at idle, although it was idling quite high, it was around 14, 15 degrees, and then on throttle she was bumping up to like 20 or so, around there. When I put back on the cover, put everything back up and put the cover on, I could actually see through the slots in the cover here. I can actually still see through these slots with the timing light, and I was able to get a more accurate read. Because the housing has shifted upwards, the numbers were actually a little bit more, so it was idling more like 16, between 15 and 17, and then blipping the throttle was like 21, 22. So I would say, Matt, so I'm just assuming we're at about about 22 degrees before top dead center. So I'm going to take about 4 or 5 degrees, do an advance to about 27 degrees and see how she likes it. And if we get some snap, crackle and pop, I will just back it off slightly. So looking at our numbers, we are squish 41 thou, intake 73, 100 on the exhaust, transfers 121, 130 psi, which is, you know, that's low, and 22. So I think when I eventually, without any machine work or even going the route of the pop-up piston yet, we're gonna do a gasket delete, probably drop that down to between 20 and 25 thou. Intake will probably bump to 74. Exhaust, we might get 101. I'm not sure, probably maybe a degree. And transfers will obviously go down as well, so the number will go up with probably like 122. But we will check those and confirm when we do the gasket delete. And on the ignition, we will probably go again 5 degrees advance to get to 26, 27. So yeah, that's where we are. I think I'll call this a vid now, and yeah, I guess next one on this we'll be doing some stock cuts, and then we'll get into the mods and the porting and all that good stuff. Alright, thanks for watching guys.